Hey there, today we are going to go over something called Pythagorean triples. Now, this is something that comes up a lot on the ACT, the SAT, standardized test, and it's also really good to know. Basically, these are triples that you get out of the Pythagorean theorem, the a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and they always come out this way. So what I recommend is to my students is to go ahead and memorize these. It's going to make your math a lot faster. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write them out. The first one is 3, 4, 5. And I'll explain what all this means in just a second. Then we have 7, 24, 25. We have 8, 15, 17, 9, 40, and 41. These are the ones that I recommend that my students memorize. There are more than these, but these are the ones that you will typically see, and any multiple of these. So let me explain how this works. You can do the Pythagorean theorem when you have a right triangle. And of course, you can have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. You can have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Or you can have these right here. Now, these 30, 60, 90 and 45, 45, 90 are related to the angles inside the triangle. So for instance, you could have 30 here, 60 here, and then you would have a different set of numbers, which I'll go through in a little bit. Or you could have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, which is isosceles, and it would look like this, and then you have another associated set of sides that go with that. When you have these here, the first two numbers in the ratio are going to be the legs of the triangles. And the legs of the triangles are the two sides that touch your right angle. The hypotenuse is over here. That's going to be this third set of numbers here in each of the ratios. So for instance, one of my values could be 3, 4, and 5. And that comes from 3 being one of the legs, 4 being another leg, and 5 being the hypotenuse. Now, all of the other sides work the same way. So we could have 5 and 12 here and here, and 13 here. 7, 24, 25, same thing, 8, 15, 17, and 9, 40, 41. Here's an example that we can go through using Pythagorean triples. So find the value of tangent of f rounded to the nearest hundredth if necessary. So we can take a look at this and see that all of 27, 36, and 45 are all divisible by 9. So if we divide 27 by 9, we're going to get 3. If we divide 36 by 9, we're going to get 4, and we can divide 45 by 9 and get 5. So in theory, how this would work out, let's say that we didn't have this 27 over here, okay, and we didn't know what that side was. What we could do is look at the common ratio between 45 and 36, which is 9, and we can see that we have 5 and 4. And we know since our Pythagorean triple, when we have 5 as the hypotenuse, 4 as one of the legs, the other one has to be 3. Since this one is multiplied by 9, and this one is also multiplied by 9, we know that this one also has to be 9, and that would be our third side. Okay. Now, to actually finish the question, to find the tangent of f, we would put ourselves in this position with theta. Tangent is opposite, which is this side, over adjacent, which is this side. So it's going to be 27 over 36, which simplifies to 3/4. So that would be our answer. Express sine of c as a fraction in simplest forms. Sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, and we're putting ourselves in the c position. The side that's opposite of c is going to be 36, and the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. So we know that the sine of c is going to be 36 over whatever the hypotenuse ends up being. Now, you might recognize this, 27 and 36. It looks just like the problem we just did. We know that we have 27 for one of the legs, we have 36 for the other leg, and we don't know what the hypotenuse is yet. 27 and 36 are both divisible by 9, so if we divide both of them by 9, we have 3 and 4. What does that mean that our height has to be? 5, based on our Pythagorean triple 3, 4, 5. Now, since we had to divide by 9, we know that the hypotenuse divided by 9 would have to be 5, and in order to figure out what that would be, we would just multiply it by 9. So this is going to be 45 here. Now, to finish out the problem, we would replace the hypotenuse with the value that we just got, 36 over 45, and if we divide both of those by 9, we're going to get 4/5. That's our answer. Express tangent of x as a fraction in simplest forms. In simplest terms. You can see here that we have a leg and a hypotenuse. And we have a missing leg here. So I'm going to do the leg, the other leg, and the hypotenuse. What is the greatest thing that we can divide both 36 and 39 by? It looks like it's going to be 3. So if we divide 36 by 3, we're going to get 12. And if we divide 39 by 3, we're going to get 13. So what is our missing ratio here out of our Pythagorean triples? It's going to be a 5. Now, in order to figure out what this x is, all we would have to do is multiply it by 3, because we know that it divided by 3 needs to be 5. So this is going to be 15. This is a great way to practice our Pythagorean triples and not have to use the Pythagorean theorem. If we were to do the Pythagorean theorem, this is what it would look like. And that definitely requires a calculator, and I would rather not have to use a calculator for these types of problems. So now let's go ahead and finish. Tangent of x is going to be opposite over adjacent. That means we're going to have 36 over 15, and we can divide both of those by, looks like 3. So we're going to get 12 over 5. Now I want to point something out to you here. This ratio is 6, 8, and 10. And this is a multiple of one of our Pythagorean triples, a 3, 4, 5. Because you can see that everything up here divided by 2 is our Pythagorean triple here. So just wanted to point that out. Now, the cosine of q, we're going to put our theta here. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and that's going to be 8 over 10 or 4 over 5. Here's another one. We have an unknown, I'll put a k here, an unknown side, are 14 and are 50. Both 14 and 50 are divisible by 2, and then we might be able to see what our pattern is for the Pythagorean triples. If you remember, one of our Pythagorean triples is 7, 24, 25. So this is our missing ratio here. Now we know that we had to divide by 2 to get our 7 and 25. So all we're going to have to do is going to be to multiply 24 by 2 to get our missing side. So this one's going to be 48. Now to finish the problem, tangent of k is going to be opposite over adjacent. So we're going to have 48 over 14. And when we divide both of those by 2, we're going to get 24 over 7. Express tangent of d as a fraction in simplest terms. So tangent is opposite over adjacent, and we don't know this side here. So I'm just going to put a lowercase b here. If we look at 24 and 26, both of these are divisible by 2. And then we get a 12 and a 13 here, which means that our missing side for the Pythagorean triple is going to be a 5. Now, all we have to do to figure out b is to multiply by 2, so b is 10. And now we have 24 over 10 for our tangent ratio, which will simplify to 12 over 5. Express sine of g as a fraction in simplest terms. The sine of g is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, and that's going to be 8 over 26, which simplifies to 4 over 13. This is probably the most simple type where you don't have to actually find this third side. If they were to ask us for cosine, we would have had to find it, or tangent, but they were nice enough not to. This particular problem is not in a Pythagorean triple, but we also didn't have to find it either. So hopefully that was helpful. Let me know in the comments what else you would like to see in some videos, and I'll be happy to record them. You guys have a good day.